was the last time you set aside time to improve your marriage? You may have a gym membership for your health or a Netflix subscription for entertainment, but what are you doing to make your most important relationship a priority? For a limited time, you can get 26 amazing marriage resources for just $35. That's less than $1.50 each. Don't wait. This 90% off sale ends July 27th at midnight. Claim your marriage bundle now at oneextraordinarymarriage.com/marriage bundle.
From Naples, Florida, this is a One Extraordinary Marriage Show, where being busy is overdone, romancing is fun, and scheduling sex is taking the guesswork out of wondering when you're going to get some. I'm Tony DiLorenzo, your co-host, along with my beautiful wife, Elisa. From coast to coast and around the world, thank you for joining us. It's time to talk sex, love, and commitment. Give us a call or text us on the Hug Hotline at 858-876-5663. Or send us an email to hugs@oneextraordinarymarriage.com. In today's episode, we're addressing boudoir photography as an investment in your marriage and personal confidence.
And there's a quote from Phillip DeFranco that says, "Real beauty comes from confidence in being who you are, not aspiring to look or be someone else." And I think as we're talking about this form of photography, that definitely ties in. But first, we start every One Extraordinary Marriage episode with a hug. And a hug becomes an opportunity for us to really just celebrate the connections that you make, the community that you're a part of, and how you're pouring into sometimes one another's marriages by what you share. And this hug comes from a conversation that was in the One Family private Facebook group that started with this question: is anyone else here trying to navigate a neurodiverse relationship? I'm neurotypical and he is going through an ASD diagnosis later in life. We're struggling. We're looking to read the 6 Pillars book and praying that this saves us. I'm struggling with his lack of empathy and connection emotionally and physically. And then this response comes in because the last question there was, will these principles help? And this is what makes community and doing marriage with others so important. A response said, I'm a neurotypical married to a neurodiverse husband for 25 years, and working through the 6 Pillars of Intimacy workbook together seemed to help a number of things just click for us. I found it a really helpful way to understand his perspective and be more accepting of his experience of our relationship. He now understands in a more concrete manner what I need in our relationship. It's made a huge difference for us.
Oh my goodness, that is so awesome. And I love it when the resources that we have created, the 6 Pillars of Intimacy, the book, the workbook, even the monthly planner, which wasn't mentioned here, impacts a marriage. And then somebody who says, that's me, I'm there, we've been through this, and it's helped us. So go do it.
Right.
And that's what it is to be a part of the One Family. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, as Tony said at the top of this episode, we are talking about boudoir photography. And this might be one of those topics that makes some of you feel a little uncomfortable, but please stick with us because I do believe that this conversation could be a game changer for a lot of couples, for your marriage. And it came up in 2 different ways, almost simultaneously, right? As we continue to develop and grow Intimacy Mastery, we're always thinking about the different live workshops that we do, one a month, and who's going to be coming in, and when are Tony and I going to be leading those, or when are we going to have a guest expert? So we were starting to plan that for the remainder of this year. And at the same time, Tony and I had the privilege to attend a marriage mastermind back in June in Utah. And one of the attendees of this mastermind was a boudoir expert. And so we were having conversations with her. We were having conversations about what the rest of the year is going to look like. And we started going down this conversation path of, well, we've never really talked about boudoir.
Yeah, and if you're interested in joining us in Intimacy Mastery, go on over to intimacymastery.com. You can learn all about it. Come in there. We'd love to have you. And for sure, make sure you jump in for our live workshops. Absolutely.
And, for those of you that don't know, like Tony and I keep throwing out this term boudoir photography. You know me, I go back to Merriam-Webster. Boudoir refers to a woman's private sitting room or bedroom. In photography, boudoir captures the intimate, romantic, and sometimes sensual images that celebrate femininity and beauty. Sounds fabulous.
The interesting part is the first one, the boudoir, refers to a woman's private sitting room or bedroom.
Yeah,
but that
bedroom.
just
sounds
means
like bedroom.
right. It's just the bedroom, not necessarily the photography that we will be talking about here today.
Absolutely. And why do we jump into a conversation like this? And there are a lot of different reasons. One, obviously, when we find ourselves in rooms and we're having conversations, our curiosity gets piqued. But we also know that your conversation gets piqued. I've had coaching conversations where we've talked about boudoir photography. It's come up in other conversations that Tony and I have had. I think there are a lot of misconceptions about the ideal woman for boudoir photography who should or shouldn't have their pictures taken. There's not a lot of conversation on how you could use this as a tool for strengthening different pillars of intimacy in your marriage. It's just kind of one of these forms of photography that's like over there. And, it's not wedding, it's not family, it's not headshots. It's like, okay, do we talk about this? How do we bring it up? What do we do? And, the body image thing becomes a big part of this. And I just want to say from the get-go of this episode, boudoir photography is not about having the perfect body or having this natural confidence that you are just like, I'm rocking it all the time. Give me the heels, give me the lingerie. I'm ready to go. For a lot of women, it's actually the confidence and the realization of what their body has done for them over all the years, that confidence that comes out, that is actually what is captured in the photography that becomes game changing. Because, and I want to share these statistics with you. There was a Studio Newport poll that was done that said 88% of clients report higher self-esteem and body image after their boudoir session. Not before, after you've done it. And other studies show 85% of women experience a significant confidence boost after their session. So somewhere between 85 and 88. And while it's only about 13% of the photography specialties, there has been a surge. I do think that there are more women and couples who are looking at this as a way to go, okay, where can I be one of that 85 or 88% that walks away from a session feeling more confident, experiencing my body and what it's capable of and what it could look like in a different way.
And it's interesting as you say that, and I think numerous studies have been done where for men, seeing something engages them, right? Helps them get aroused.
Sure.
And I'm just wondering if for a wife, seeing her own self, as tough as it is, folks, understand, like, we have been podcasting for 15 and a half years, and it took me a long time to want to listen to my own voice. And so, and you're going, well, what does that have to do with this, Tony? Well, I wonder if you're able to see yourself in a different light by looking at yourself. And now I can listen to myself speak. It doesn't bother me one bit. But you become accustomed to what that is, who I am, the sound of my voice, the curves of my body, and can fully go, that's me. And that can change the way your confidence, number one, but it could also even change your sexual intimacy with your husband.
Absolutely.
And your husband seeing you in that light as well. You know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, because many of you still have sex with the lights off. Like, you don't see each other's bodies. And so the ability to see you and for you to see yourself, I just wonder if that's, obviously there's probably no study been done about it, but I'm just wondering how that can really impact an individual and a couple.
Well, and this has been a topic that we have talked about, internally, Tony and I, for many years.
Many
years.
When
we lived in San Diego, my Facebook feed, people I'd meet at networking events, things like that. There were a lot of boudoir photographers, and I've never done it.
And we talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the first time we're bringing it up because we didn't personally feel confident with, should we do this as a couple? Elisa doing it on her own. We'd talk about it. We'd look at it. We'd just be like, no, like, it's just not the time, or it's not the right photographer, or whatever it is. We just were sort of like, no, this isn't going to happen.
Well, and it's interesting because last week on Instagram, we asked a few questions around boudoir. And one of the questions that I asked was, have you ever considered a boudoir photography session? Just have you ever thought about it? 66% of you said yes, or you're curious. I was like, okay, let's talk about it. And then there were two follow-up questions. The first follow-up question was, if you did do a session, what would be your main motivation?
Oh.
And this, like, I love, first of all, can we just say thank you to the One family
Absolutely.
and for how you all engage with us on Instagram. At One Extraordinary Marriage is our Instagram handle. But when we put questions up and you guys share your responses, like, our lives change because of what you say and the insights that you give us.
And not only us, others in the One family, or maybe a couple who's just coming across an episode who's lost and discouraged, and they get to hear from other marriages to know that they're not alone. And be it around boudoir photography, emotional intimacy, wherever, finances, sex. So from Elise and I, yes, we are so thankful and truly, truly blessed by how you share, because it not only impacts us, but we know it impacts so many others.
Mm-hmm. So here are some of the responses we got on what your main motivation would be if you were to do this. And some of you have actually done this and said this was what your motivation was. A surprise for my husband. So many of you, whether it was a surprise for him, doing it for him, having pictures for him to look at. Husbands, I just want you to know, if she's thinking about it, there's probably a really good chance that you are part of the reason why. Other responses were getting my body back after 2 babies and celebrating that. Help me to feel sexier. There's that confidence. For my husband to see me in a different light. Saw it as wedding gifts. That lots of you have given this or considered doing this for your husband-to-be, your new husband. And anniversary came up for a lot of people. Birthdays, significant birthdays came up, 35, 40. Somebody even said when I turned 50, I wanted to do something that scared me. And so this is what I did.
Nice.
Other responses: to feel better about my body, boost my confidence, bring the spark back. And then there is a comment that came up a couple of times from husbands who have actually thought about gifting their wives boudoir. And the response generally was something around the sentiment of, to show my wife how beautiful she is. And I love that. And so you have all of these different, whether you're doing, ladies, you're thinking about doing it for him, or he's thinking about, like, I want her to see herself how beautiful she is, or we've got these significance. Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you, if you did a session, a boudoir session, what would be your main motivation for you?
So for me at this point in time, it would definitely be stepping out and doing something uncomfortable. So that one that said, I turned 50, I want to do something that scared me. And I am so intrigued at the idea of the confidence that comes on the other side of a photo session. And I've seen this when we have done photo sessions ourselves. Like
Fully clothed.
Yes, fully clothed. Sorry, fully clothed. Like the pictures you all see on Instagram and stuff. I know as I have gotten older and I've learned to embrace the woman that I am, that I never leave a photo session feeling diminished or less than. When I see those pictures, it is that boost of, look at who I am now. And so I do think for me, motivation would be like, who am I in my 50s? And for those of you that don't know, I'm 51. I wear it proudly. But there is this place of like, this is who I am. And I'm not, when you think about the fact that we've talked about this for, probably 10 or 15 years, you and I have had conversations in and around. Not like massive, but it's come up in conversation.
We've talked about it. Yeah. Many different ways and styles, and like it would just come up in conversation per se. Like we would just be having we're just talking about, being in our emotional intimacy and talking about different ways to engage like ourselves in our sexual intimacy or whatever it may be. And yeah, it's come up many a times. Or just driving down the road. Hell, what about that?
And I just don't think, in some respects, I don't think I was ready to take like that next step of like, I haven't tried this as a photography style. What would that look like for me? And I appreciate that question, because I do think it's just valuable to talk about it. And it's the type of conversations we want husbands and wives to be having. But there was one more question that we asked, and it's one that definitely needs some attention, because the question that we asked was, if you were considering boudoir photography, what would be your biggest hesitation or question? And we need to share those answers, and we're going to do that after this break so that you can hear what might be holding others back. We're beginning the search for a new home, and with that, new furnishings. If you've looked at furniture and decor prices lately, OMG. Here's a secret to help you when it comes to creating your dream home. It's called dupe.com. Just type dupe.com/, before any product URL. It instantly shows you similar and more affordable alternatives. I've been absolutely shocked at what this site comes up with. It's great for your financial intimacy. Most furniture sold online is mass-produced in the exact same factories. Those factories sell to brands under different names who list them for different prices. Dupe.com automatically lists these less expensive alternatives so you're not overpaying for some brand name. Dupe.com really is so easy to use. Just type dupe.com / before any product URL in your browser, and boom, it instantly finds you less expensive alternatives. They even have an app and a browser extension you can download. No account required, no sign up required. It's completely free to use. Stop wasting money on brand names and start saving with dupe.com today. There's something magical about summer entertaining, right? Like having your friends over when the weather's perfect, everyone gathered around, getting to catch up and relax. But getting your outdoor space ready can feel overwhelming. That's where Wayfair comes in. Whether you're throwing a cookout or hosting a pool party, they've got everything you need in one place. Patio furniture, grills, lawn games, string lights, everything to make your backyard the place everyone wants to be. I've been eyeing these fabulous pool loungers on their site, you know, the kind that are perfect for the Baja shelf, where you can actually lounge in the pool and just soak up the sun while everyone's hanging out. It's the exact vibe that I'm going for this summer. And free shipping on the big stuff. No crazy delivery fees when you're buying patio sets or those bigger outdoor pieces. Plus, everything arrives fast. It's perfect when you're planning those last-minute get-togethers. Shop outdoor furniture, grills, lawn games, and way more for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to explore a huge outdoor selection. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair. Every style, every home. We're back, and we're talking about boudoir photography. And before the break, we shared all the reasons why you might do this. But what's the biggest question or hesitation? And as a coach, I have to ask this question because like we can have all the motivation in the world. Like, yeah, this would be great. I want to do it for my husband, or it's a big birthday, or all this kind of stuff. But if we as individuals don't address what our biggest questions are, or hesitation, or if you want to use a different word, resistance. Yeah. If we don't address what that is, then motivation will not be enough to carry us. And again, I know we're talking about boudoir photography, but this is just like a little coach life lesson here. Motivation will not overcome resistance. You have to work through the resistance.
The status quo is easier to live in than the discomfort of the other side of where we want to go with the motivation. It's why so many people go to motivational speakers or sessions and get riled up. And believe you me, been there, done it, walk out of this room so excited.
So excited.
By Wednesday, what happened? Why would I do anything like that? And so what Elisa is sharing, I think, is one of the biggest things that she works with her marriage coaching clients is, what is that resistance? What is the block? Why am I not going to do what I said I was going to do because I'm so motivated to do it? And we have to address it because there have been many a times, and I would say even right now, there are things that I probably am standing and looking at, motivated to do, and yet there's some resistance. And so doing that work with a coach to go, what's up? Like, why am I stuck here right now? And that, for something like boudoir, for a lot of people, will be like, no big deal. But it is a big deal.
I mean, think about it. You are choosing to, whether you're wearing lingerie or choosing to be nude in front of a photographer with lighting and hair and makeup and all of the things, and you're choosing to be photographed, right? There are a lot of mental and emotional hurdles to taking yourself into that place. And, you know, it's not just what I described there, but you guys all have some very concrete concerns, hesitations, questions. And I just want to share a number of these because I think it's like we often say here at One Extraordinary Marriage. If one person is thinking about it, chances are really good that there are many, many more. Yeah. So these may be even things that you've thought about or that have kept you from even, going forward into considering this. The picture's getting leaked. And I saw that one, and it's so funny that I hadn't thought about that, because I'm like, oh yeah, it is 2025. We are in the digital age. This is not film camera that's getting developed. That's a very real concern. What is the privacy and the security that your photographer has? Mm-hmm. What to wear? Good gravy. If you're just doing a branding, think about your family photo shoots when you're trying to get, what are we going to wear? Right. And then you think about what am I not going to wear? And if I'm not going to wear something, am I going to wear something that's matching in lingerie? And what does that look like? Is it lace? Is it silky? Is it you can get all up into your head and spin yourself out, and you haven't even gotten past the point of what I'm going to wear. Mm-hmm. Other issues or concerns: not feeling confident, body image issues, body shape, belly fat, body dysmorphia were all things that were listed. Who's the photographer? What is this person who are they? What would it be like to wear lingerie in front of a stranger? Will the photographer make me feel comfortable? The cost. That's a big one that came up for a lot of people. What do I do with the photos after?
I have to say, when I started Paintless Dent Repair, I was 24 years old. The owner of the company, great guy. I did a lot of road cycling with him, and he was about 10 or so years older than me.
Okay. I don't know where the story is going.
No. And interestingly enough, by that point in time, or a year or so after, his wife had done boudoir.
Okay.
And I remember being at his house one time, and he was just showing me around. He was like, hey, Tony, come on, let me show you this and this. And what he had done and what the company he had built up was amazing. And so he's like, yeah, come on. So we go into the bedroom. And there are pictures, boudoir photography, which I didn't know what that was at 24 years old, 25 years old at the time. We're in their bedroom. And I'm like,
where do I look?
They were, from what I can remember, very classy, sure, very elegant. Mm-hmm. And he was so just proud of them. Mm. You know what I mean? Me as a 24-year-old guy, an employee of his,
that's awkward.
Privately held company, guys. So this is back in the 90s, mid to late 90s. And but I just want to say, where do you hang them? They just had him there, and I think there was probably 3 of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and that's not the case for everybody. Another concern was
it's not. That was just an experience I had even thinking about that, as you and I have talked about it over the years and currently. I'm like, where are we going to put those? Mm-hmm. What do those look like for us?
Well, because another one of the concerns was, what if my kids find the pictures? And this is actually really funny, because many of you know our 19-year-old took a gap year, lives with us. And so she hears us having these conversations, right? So we're talking about boudoir photography, and she makes oh my gosh, it's another one of those topics that you guys are talking about, face. And
well, first she didn't know what it was, so we had to tell her. She's like, no.
Yeah. She's like, I don't even want to know. And then the other day she was like, wait a minute. If you do this, where are you going to put those pictures? And I just looked at her, I'm like, believe me, they will not be hung in the living room. You are fine, and don't go looking for them. Right?
I think we hang them in our bedroom, so she nor anyone else will come in the bedroom. Be like, no. This is now off limits.
No. Because
I want big ones too, 16 by whatever.
Stop. But I think it is interesting to just hear some of these, and these weren't all of them. There are so many concerns that you maybe even thought of as we were sharing this list. And, one of the things is that Tony and I don't know the answers to all of those concerns. Shockingly, we are not boudoir experts. We are not boudoir photographers. That you all know, that is not who we are. And so when we started seeing this, and even my own concerns and considerations, like we told you guys, we've been talking about this kind of roundabout for somewhere between 10 and 15 years. Mm-hmm. And I've had questions. I've struggled to go, who's this photographer going to be? What is your team like? Is this going to be, the guy that's got his ball cap on backwards that, is just kind of like, hey, baby, can you get yourself into a pose? I'm like, that is not going to work for me. Versus someone who they themselves and their entire team, like you were saying, even with the photographs that you saw, classy, elevated, and experience. Because I do believe that if a woman is going to choose to be in lingerie or be whatever she decides to do between her and the photographer, that is has the opportunity to be such an empowering experience. But you've got to be in the right place. You've got to be able to get your questions answered. You've got to feel confident about the person that is on the other side of that camera. And so one of the things, because we couldn't answer all of these questions, because we don't know the answer to all of these questions, we actually made a decision that we were going to find the expert to be the one to have this conversation, to be the one to answer these questions, to actually allow you to engage. Because if 66% of you are interested, curious, would want to do this, then we want to put somebody in front of you. And so there is an upcoming Intimacy Mastery live workshop that we're going to do. It's actually called Secrets to Confidence in Marriage from a Boudoir Expert. And that's going to be the place to get these types of questions answered. Because I think a lot of us, not just when it comes to boudoir photography, but in life, have a lot of questions about confidence. And like, how do you do that? And, here's the person that's been on the other side of the camera who has, photographed and been, part and parcel, because this is what her business does, of making women and couples, because they also do couple photography, an elevated experience.
Yeah.
And so that's what we wanted to bring to all of you guys. But it starts with the two of you having your own conversation this week, right? It starts with, what would this look like for us? Or honey, what have you ever thought about it? And if so, like, what would be your motivation? What would be your concerns? We got to start having that conversation as couples, and then come and join us in Intimacy Mastery for the live workshop so that you can actually be part of this conversation as well.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity to join us. If you are part of Intimacy Mastery, come, make sure you RSVP right there in our hub. We want to see you there. Come with your questions ready. If you're not a part of Intimacy Mastery, go on over to intimacymastery.com. Join, get there for the live workshop. This live workshop will be held on Wednesday, August 6th, 2025. So I'm just time stamping it for everybody here. Here's the thing. If you can't make the live and you are a member, you can always catch the replay. And we will make sure to get your questions answered. So don't hesitate. This is why we have Intimacy Mastery, because we can bring in these experts who can spend time with you, help you understand. And we have currently a library of other live workshops on replay with other experts, Elisa and I, and a ton more in there, so you can have the extraordinary marriage you desire. We hope to see you in there. Go on over to intimacymastery.com and sign up today. You guys have yourself a fantastic week, and we'll catch you next week. Love you guys. Thank you for listening to the One Extraordinary Marriage Show. If you love this podcast, please leave a review on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you are listening. Your review helps others find the show and know that it's the right fit for them and their marriage.